I've been curious to know, completely unrelated to the sex stuff. We can get back into that later if something comes up. But when you announced that you were doing Boiis eSports, I was like, damn, that seems like a really hard thing to break into.
Yeah.
So like, how did that all come about? Because I am fascinated by that.
And do you want to explain Boiis eSports?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
So Boiis eSports, it's our esports org. So it started kind of accidentally. It's something we've always wanted to do. But in August of last year, a Smash player by the name of Cola, who had competed in our tournaments and won them, he hit me up on Twitter. He's like, hey, I'm lobbying for Summit, which is a huge Smash Bros tournament. He was like, can you retweet this? And I was like, bet, but I'll do one better. I'll make a whole org around it and really hype it up. And then it actually, like, he got in. It actually looked like, Cola had a chance of winning it. Boiis eSports can be like a legitimate presence. So then we ended up signing Aaron, which is another Smash Bros player, who's a friend of Cola, also at Summit. And we did really well, and we were like, gotta keep this going. So then we just put our foot on the gas. It's super hard to get into because it's so expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I heard the one thing is that, the reason why a lot of these, what are they called? I don't know, esports agencies? What are they?
Esports organizations.
Organizations.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all venture capital, right? Hundreds of millions of dollars because they just bleed money. Right?
It's just hemorrhaging money forever, basically.
Yeah.
I think, I don't remember exactly, but I think it's only 2 of them are profitable right now, and it's not from their esports. It's 100 Thieves because of all the merch they pump. And I believe the other one was TSM.
Yeah, it's TSM because they have like a massive fan base that goes all the way back.
Yeah.
And no other esports agency makes money?
No, they're all bleeding money. I'm sure there's some that maybe make profit here and there, but for the most part, you're bleeding money.
That sounds like a bubble.
Well, it's, I think for those, like for companies that try and like get into the esports scene to try and like, because there's a huge multiple because everyone wants to be in there. So they try and build it for 3 years, sell it for like I think it's like a 10x multiple right now. So they'll try and make like a big exit with a big influx of cash.
Right.
I think for them, it's definitely more of like bubble-ish, maybe even like a bit of a scam on their end because you're doing it just to sell it. Like you're kind of misleading everyone. For us, we just love the space. So we're in Rocket League now, we're in Apex, we're in Splitgate, Smash Bros, Guilty Gear, Brawlhalla. Like it's just really fun things to watch because for us, we do it for the content. Like the watch parties are fun to watch. So even though it's massively negative in terms of financial gain, the content I think is priceless.
I guess when you say it like that, it's like, what better way to get into a bunch of esports than just have your team to root for?
Exactly.
Literally all of them.
100%. Watching the chat like spam Boiis eSports emotes and like talk about them, like it's so great. It's super fun.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. Because like me and Connor are big league watchers. We don't play it. We don't play it. Just for the record. Just for the record. We don't play it, but we love to watch it. And I know there's a big problem right now where most of like the North American organizations, they like overpay their player salary. Like it's so inflated, right? And the players suck, Unfortunately,
it is
like the organizations don't perform well internationally at all. But the players just like the salaries just keep increasing.
When you're a good player, you go to America to retire. Because you get the paycheck, right? You can just chill
I think
out
across all esports, American players get paid the most. Like across the board.
It's a lot.
Yeah. But like, I guess I think you're going about it the right way, where it's just like a fun branding thing as well. And you just,
this is fun.
Sometimes you just want to get fun, do something fun in the space,
Yeah, and I'm sure eventually, like with merch, and we just got skins in Rocket League. Like I'm sure it won't always be like a huge, massive financial loss. Like right now, it's all out of pocket. But maybe at some point it starts to be self-sustaining.
Are you really deep into the financial side, or are you more like hey, I just want to do this, someone else handled the money part?
So I don't really I'm not like hands-on with the finances.
But you know what's going on.
I absolutely.
I like to hope
I know your financial advisor is like, hey, Charlie, I don't know what's going on, man, but this seems like a bad idea.
So pretty much all of like my Twitch revenue goes right into Boiis eSports at this point. It just pretty much all filters there to keep it all sustaining and
because I saw you mid the video about the Omega Strikers, this cool thing where they said that I don't know how the tournament functioned. How did it work? Because people could play for your team?
Yeah, so like in the game, you go in, you choose what team you want to play for. There was like me, Raken was the other big one from Brazil. Lily Pichu had a team. Dyrus had a team. And you just go click, I'll compete for your team. Every win you get counted for them. Whoever had the most wins after 10 days got the first prize, which was 3% of the net revenue of the game. which is a crazy offer.
Yeah.
So we went hog wild on that.
I saw the results, and it was like 10 million. 2 million. And it was like, okay, I think you won.
Yeah, I mean that could amount
to
like
awesome.
It's a fun game too. Like it could amount to no money or it could amount to some, but it seemed like an opportunity worth it because fun game and it could lead to something to help Moist esports. So.
Yeah, because I think you mentioned in your video, right, that you mainly the reason you want to do it was you're like, hey, all this money's going to go into Moist esports.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy. Like it seems like a colossal undertaking.
It is. It's a lot to get into the field.
Like, do you see it making money like profitably in like the next 5 years, or is that like even further down the line?
5 years, hopefully. 5 years is a long time to keep going out of pocket. True. Yeah, it'd be nice within 5 years, but obviously.
Are there any more games you want to get into in terms of like esports that you want to bring under?
Yep. So we've been looking a lot at like CS:GO. Valorant kind of shot themselves in the foot with their whole franchising. I don't know if you guys know about that, but they had a big.
He just hates Valorant. Period.
I hate watching Valorant. I think it's like the most boring thing to watch.
I'm a fan to watch. I don't play anymore.
Yeah.
But like all the big ones. League, of course, is a pipe dream, but that's super expensive.
Yeah, on those spots like 15, 20 million or something.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot of
months I got to stream on Twitch.
That's a lot of Omega Strikers right there.
God damn.
Yeah, what do you think makes like a good esport? Because it seems like whenever a new hype game gets released now, everyone's like, oh, okay, when's the esports? When's the esports starting?
Well, I mean, the Overwatch League was like they manufactured it, right?
Yeah.
And then that kind of crashed and burned.
Oh, that's so bad. It was $20 million just to be in it. It was so dumb.
Jeez. And I remember, because I liked Overwatch when it first launched, and I was like, oh, okay, let's try watching the esport of this, and I just could not follow.
It is a miserable esport.
I think it's a shit esport to watch.
It just wasn't fun. It was two tanks, everyone's just shooting at tanks forever. Then dump alts, rinse and repeat. It wasn't a fun esport.
And there's like no time to explain. I think League has that perfect balance as a spectator sport where there's enough breathing room where you can kind of explain things if a friend's watching with you, or you can kind of talk through it. And the games are long; they're like 40 minutes, and it's very obvious when something is happening.
Yeah.
Whereas in Overwatch, you're like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Genji killed my whole team, and I'm like, how do I explain this? I'm like, so you get to reset every time he kills, right? But then Anna used her ult to empower him, and so like it's pretty cool. And it's like what? Like it doesn't make sense if you don't know the game.
I think for an esport to be like hype to watch, it's got to be fast paced, and it's got to be something you can look at, knowing nothing about the game and understand. So Rocket League's perfect for that. I mean, it's soccer with cars. You know exactly what you're looking at.
Smash is great with that.
Smash pretty easy as well.
Is awesome to watch.
Well, just like any fighting game.
Fighting games are
it's two players in a fighting game most of the time. They fight each other. You know exactly what's happening.
And fighting esports seems the most hype.
It's
like
so
the crowds are insane.
Oh my god! Just the community in general. They just like I want to get into fighting games just to be a part of this community.
They are massively hype. It's so good.
Just seeing the crowds like scream and jump around whenever anyone's doing anything, and it's like it's literally Pikachu fighting Jigglypuff, and people are losing their grown men are like, yo! Like, it's like this is so surreal when you sit back and think about it, but like it's awesome. It's
just like the perfect level of toxicity as well, where it's just like everyone's shit talking, so nobody takes anyone seriously.
Exactly.
I kind of wish other esports had that in a way that where it worked, but I guess because fighting games just had it from the ground up, right?
And it's one-on-one, so they can talk shit to each other, whereas it's like 5v5, it's much harder to start talking shit.
Because you see an interview in League and it's just like 90% of interviews are like the most boring, generic PR interview of all time. And then you see fighting game interviews and they're just like everyone's talking shit. It's so much fun.
It's so much better.
And like the memes that come out of it as well. I just think like the fighting game community memes.
Oh my god!
Like
all of the compilations that come out of like the Smash Bros tournaments and shit is the best to watch.
Salty Smash Bros.
Salty Smash Bros. moments are so good.
Compilation 15.
It's so good.
I think the only thing in my mind that makes fighting games like not a great I mean it's good spectating, but like on the level that like League,
let me hear your hot take.
Just because it's over too fast.
They're fast. So like when you get like a Street Fighter or Tekken, those games can go by in a single combo.
And it's
I agree.
You watch League, you can go to the toilet, you can come back, and maybe you missed something, maybe you didn't. But in fighting games, if you miss it, or you went out to get some snacks from the store, like the bracket has totally changed, and like it's hard to follow the characters, and then like you can build up these teams in longer form games and longer tournaments. Whereas in fighting games, you get knocked out, and then it's like, okay, well my guy's gone. I don't really know who like Cheetos XX4 is, and like it's I feel like the storylines aren't there. as often. Like the way that you can manufacture it more with like.
Yeah,
League
I feel with
and
something like Evo, they do a good job with like. Creating the
Well,
story.
when you have people who come back time and time again, then you can make stories.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
You have like the top 10 players who are normally at most events. Then you can start making the narratives, right?
Yes.
And if they're there a lot, then it works.
Yeah.
But even then, it's over in minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I think the difference is that with something like League, you have organizations,
No,
with fighting games, it's very much here is the individual player.
Yeah, for sure.
It's only like one-on-one. So it's like far easier to follow the narrative of this organization like you do with like traditional sports.
For sure. It works.
Yeah. Especially
eSports
Yeah.
story arc.
We have a great story.
Do you?
arc, honestly.
Hell yeah.
I think so.